First up today on today's Cowboys Rumors is Tank Lawrence want a 5-year deal. I'll give this one 3 stars. I think that is what he wants, but if the money's right, he could go to a 4-year or 6-year deal, kind of like Zach Martin ended up doing with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Lawrence gets $17 million on the franchise tag this year, and the deadline is coming up rather quickly. July 16th is when the Cowboys and Lawrence have to have a deal done, or Lawrence has to play the year out on the franchise tag. So Lawrence and that $17 million, that's an important number. It's what Olivier Vernon got in the past from the Giants, and it's worth noting that Vernon and Lawrence share the same agent, so they're going to want similar money there. The guaranteed money could be similar as well. So for Lawrence, the 5-year, $17 million, that's kind of your baseline. And of course, if you're negotiating, you always ask for more. So Lawrence's projected asking price could be around 5 years, $90 million, $54 million guaranteed. Maybe he ends up settling for the Vernon contract itself, but Tank is coming off a massive, massive year, and he's going to want to get paid like one of the top defensive ends in the NFL, which numbers-wise, that's what he was last year. So I want to know, how much did the Cowboys pay DeMarcus Lawrence per year? Is it 15, 16, 17, 18, whatever he wants? Let me know in the comments section. I know it's a lot, but I'm down with $17 million per year. The Cowboys have been searching for a pass rusher, and DeMarcus Lawrence was that last year for the Cowboys. I'd get it done if I were them. We'll stick on the defensive line. Jihad Ward, is he going to be a top DT in the NFL? Well, if you ask Zach Martin, yes. I'm only going to give it the 1 star, though. Zach Martin has already kind of hyped up Jihad Ward, with Martin saying he thinks he'll be among the best defensive tackles in the NFL. And yes, Ward is a second-round pick with talent, but I also want to make note here that he's failed to live up to his potential with the Oakland Raiders. He wasn't that effective of a player with Oakland and barely played at all last year. Here's the quote from Zach Martin. It says, "I truly believe he's going to be one of the top 3 techs in the NFL. I like the optimism, but this is a dude that had 2 tackles last season. I know he was hurt for a little bit, but I think we got to pump the brakes here just a little bit. The talent is there. I believe that Rod Marinelli can get the most out of him, but I think we got to pump the brakes just a little bit there on the hype around Jihad Ward. Don't worry, I have some praise for Jihad Ward later on in the show. Hint, hint. All right, next up, are the Cowboys going to pass on any players in the supplemental draft? I think maybe. This is 2 stars firmly in the rumor category. You see Sam Beal there. He's the guy I want the most. Now, you probably have to spend a 3rd-round pick to get Sam Beal, but he fits the Chris Richard scheme. Now, Brian Broaddus and David Hellman of theCowboys.com don't think Dallas will draft anyone, and there are a few DBs who could be good fits. I mentioned Sam Beal. I think Adonis Alexander would be a nice fit out of Virginia Tech, a player I've long liked, and maybe Brandon Brown, although there are some notable discipline issues on and off the field in terms of his focus. The other 2 guys there, Bright and Martavis, they're not going to be drafted. That linebacker ran just barely under 5 seconds and weighs 205 pounds. Built like a safety, runs like a lineman, not going to make it in the NFL. But Beal, Alexander, and Bryant are the 3 guys to monitor when the supplemental draft goes down tomorrow. We'll see if the Cowboys actually end up making a selection there. So let us know if you think Dallas should draft a player in the supplemental draft. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section there. I don't think it'll happen, but I wouldn't mind getting Sam Beal. I think he's going to be a good player, or even Adonis Alexander. 2 DBs who could be good fits. I mentioned Sam Beal. I think Adonis Alexander would be a nice fit out of Virginia Tech, a player I've long liked, and maybe Brandon Brown, although there are some notable discipline issues on and off the field in terms of his focus. The other 2 guys there, Bright and Martavis, they're not going to be drafted. That linebacker ran just barely under 5 seconds and weighs 205 pounds. Built like a safety, runs like a lineman, not going to make it in the NFL. But Beal, Alexander, and Bryant are the 3 guys to monitor when the supplemental draft goes down tomorrow. We'll see if the Cowboys actually end up making a selection there. So let us know if you think Dallas should draft a player in the supplemental draft. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section there. I don't think it'll happen, but I wouldn't mind getting Sam Beal. I think he's going to be a good player, or even Adonis Alexander. All right, folks, challenge for you guys. Get me to 4,500 Twitter followers. We're getting real close there. Keep the followers coming. Hit me with any questions you guys have on the Cowboys. I'll be sure to respond to them. So hit me up on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney, no S, just WhatGoingDowney. Again, any questions that you have on the Cowboys or the NFL, I'll be sure to answer them. All right, time for some Earl Thomas talk, and if trade talks are quote-unquote heating up. But first, a quick word from our sponsor, The Guild. No, Earl Thomas trade talks are not heating up. This is fake news, and I'll put the rumor origin as multiple reports. So fan-sided, I think I saw a site called UPI, and others said, oh, there are multiple reports that Earl Thomas trade talks are heating up. But those multiple reports don't actually exist. There hasn't been any credible report that the trade talks are heating up. Frankly, there hasn't actually been that much change in the Earl Thomas situation. So fan-sided and others, and I got this tweeted at me quite a few times. That's why I wanted to bring it up on today's show. They're not heating up. Things haven't changed all that much. There were no reports that the trade talks were heating up. If you saw our article that said that, it simply wasn't accurate. It was the old, oh, I saw a headline that said it, therefore multiple reports say that trade talks were heating up, even though that's not what actually happened. But what did actually happen, and we're going to go and give this one 4 stars as well for our next item here, is the Earl Thomas trade a possibility? Yes, it is. This one is 4 stars. This is what I think kind of started the heating up discussion around Earl Thomas. Brian brought us on 105 through the Fan, said he thought it was still a possibility, and yeah, it is. This is almost a no-brainer, 4 stars for me, because I think it still very well happened. The trade is still in play. The Cowboys do want Earl Thomas. The issue is for the Cowboys, only going to give it the 1 star. And I get that Earl Thomas loves the Cowboys. He's a Cowboys fan. That's something that we know by now. And I get that the Cowboys have interest in Earl Thomas and that Seattle might be better off long-term by trading away an aging safety and getting a pick back in exchange. But Seattle and Earl Thomas, that's kind of where the leverage battle is right now. It's not really between the Cowboys and Earl Thomas. Yes, Earl Thomas wants to get paid in a big way, but the team is secondary. If the Seahawks, the Browns, whoever offer Earl Thomas the big contract, he'll take that. Thomas's first priority is to get paid. Anything else beyond that is a secondary concern. So yes, Thomas wants to play for Dallas, but this is not a Kawhi Leonard situation, for example. Earl Thomas is not holding out to be traded to the Cowboys. He's holding out to get paid by Seattle. Now, if Seattle will refuse to do that, maybe that's when they'll really kind of open up the trade discussion there and move Earl Thomas for a second-round pick. But as of right now, I think it's just the 1 star. If he hits the open market, things will change, but I'm not convinced that Earl Thomas will be moved by the Seattle Seahawks at this time. I think free agency is the more likely route for the Cowboys to obtain Earl Thomas, and that comes next offseason.